This conference will now be recorded.
So in the previous session, we have discussed about the SOQL queries, and we have discussed SOQL query and what is the use, how to prepare the SOQL query, and what are the limitations and the best practices that we have discussed. So upon preparing this SOQL query, we have to use select statement. By using this select statement, we can prepare the SOQL query, which is used to retrieve the data, nothing but to collect the data from the database objects. That means from the Salesforce objects, we're using SOQL queries. So we have to specify that select statement, select a keyword, and then specify the field name or API names from object name. From which object you would like to fetch the data, specify that object name. And along with that, these are the various classes we can use to add the filters. We can add our own required conditions with the help of these classes. So these are all optional. What are the things that are specified inside the square braces? These are all optional. This is optional statement. This is also optional. This is also optional. All are optional statement. If you want, you can use it. If you don't want, leave it. No problem. But we will see what is the purpose of each and every class, how to use them, what is the syntax, everything we see practically one by one. Now, then how can we write these SOQL queries? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so now whenever we are going to be executing this SOQL queries, we have multiple ways are available. The first way is we can use this execute anonymous window in order to execute this SOQL queries. Sorry, the developer console. Developer console. Inside that, especially, we have an option called as query editor. Okay, query editor. So from the developer console, by using this query editor, we can able to execute this SOQL queries. Second one, by using Apex programming. Third one, with the help of workbench tool, also we can able to invoke this SOQL queries also. These are the multiple ways in order to invoke this SOQL queries to fetch the required record information from the objects. Now, so now let's see how can we prepare some sample SOQL queries. How can we execute it by using developer console? I will show you practically now. I will show you first by using developer console. Then I will show you how to prepare these SOQL queries through programming, how to execute them. We'll see practically in this case. Now, whenever if you want to execute the SOQL queries by using developer console, how can we use this? What is the navigation? You know how to go to the developer console, you know that. I'm indicating this. Go to the developer console editor. Expand the tab bar and click on Query Editor tab. Click on Query Editor tab and write the SOQL query inside the query window, and then click on Execute button to invoke the SOQL query and view the result inside the result window. View the result inside the result window. This is the navigation we use to follow in order to execute that SOQL queries by using developer console. So whenever if you want to execute that SOQL query through developer console, we have to follow this navigation. Go to the developer console editor and expand the tab bar and click on that query editor tab. Write that SOQL query inside the query window and then click on this execute button so that the SOQL query will be getting executed and we can view the result inside that result window. Now let me show you that user interface first, then I will show you how to write that SOQL query. Some practical examples we'll see practically today. Now, so let's go to the developer console editor. Go to that username on the top right corner, expand it, click on developer console link. Click on developer console link, and in this is the developer console editor which has been given by Salesforce. Now, so in this developer console editor, you will be having a tab bar, expand it. You will be having the tab bar like as logs tab, test tab, checkpoints, query editor, view state, progress, problems, like that. So many tabs are available inside this tab bar. So now click on this query editor tab. Click on this query editor tab. Now it is providing the user interface to you. Okay, now it is providing the user interface to you. Inside this query editor tab, you will be having various options. This is called as query window. This is called as query window. This is called as query window. So you have to write your SOQL query inside this query window. Okay, you have to write your SOQL query inside this query window. And then after writing this query inside this query window, okay, if you want to execute it, here you will be having a button called as execute button. At the bottom left corner, you will be having that execute button in order to execute this SOQL query. So upon executing this SOQL query, if this query is having any syntactical mistakes, if there is any column names are wrong, that means whatever the column that we are fetching the data, if that column name is a wrong column, invalid column, then it will be raising some exceptions, right? Then where we can see. So that this is the error window here. All the errors we can able to see in this error window. Okay, this is the error window. This is the error window. We have this error window. Suppose if there is no errors are available, if the query has been executed successfully, we can see the results by using this result window. This is the result window. This is the result window. So we can able to see the results over here. So this is the result window. These are the three windows are available: query window, error window, result window. These are the three windows are available where we can able to see each and every information. Now, so now write your SOQL query and then fetch the information by executing it. Now, let's see how can we do this one. Now, let's see with the practical part. Now, let me take some use cases here. First of all, write an SOQL query to fetch the account ID, name, rating, industry, annual revenue, phone and fax values from the account object. From the account object, we can fetch the account record ID and the name, rating value, industry value, annual revenue, phone number, and the fax number values from the account object. Then how can we fetch this information? Now let's see practically. So I need to prepare one SOQL query. So now tell me what is the syntax of SOQL query, how to prepare this SOQL query by using select statement. So we have to specify this select statement. Select. After that, what we need to do? We need to specify the column names. This is the syntax we have to follow. Select. Field names are API names. That means if it is a standard field, specify the field name. If it is a custom field, then we can specify that custom field. Nothing but API name. Now, so now here in this case, how can we do this one? So we have to specify the select statement, select a keyword, and then specify the column names or API names. So which columns information you would like to fetch, and then you can specify from object name. I want to fetch the account object account record ID, so that you can specify select ID of the account record. You can specify the ID column name, comma name column, comma rating, industry, annual revenue, phone, comma fax from account. So I'm following the same syntax, no change at all. Here you have to specify the field name. Don't use the field labels. Okay, don't use the field labels. Please just specify the field names always. That already told you in the beginning of that admin concept itself during the fields topic. So now don't use a field label. Always use field name if it is a standard field. If it is a custom field, use the API name. Okay, so that field labels are only for display purpose. Okay, field labels are only for display purpose. So that don't use field labels, use field name or API name. Now, I've given the column names. Upon giving that multiple column names, separate that column names by using a comma. Okay, by using the comma, we can make it segregate over here. And then from object name. Okay, object name is account. Select idea of that column here, idea of that account record, comma name, comma rating, comma industry, annual revenue, phone, fax from account. Once the query is available, then click on execute button to execute this SOQL query to fetch the data. Click on execute. Now we can see all the account records. So now inside my account object, I'm having 54 account records are there. All the records information has been written to you. So we can see all the 54 account records available inside the object here. So whose ID value, name, rating, industry, annual revenue, phone, and the fax column values have been getting visibility. So that we can able to see all the columns information also. Okay, what are the columns that you want? You can specify that column names information. Depends upon your application requirements. What are the columns information you would like to fetch? Fetch those columns information from the object by specifying those column names to separating the comma. So we can see all the 54 account records information. Okay, this is how we need to write that SOQL query. Let me close this one. Next, second one. Write few more queries. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the lead records from the object. So now the fields. What fields information I want? I want ID field, lead ID, comma first name field, comma last name field, company name field, status, email, phone, fax, industry, rating, annual revenue fields. Okay, annual revenue field. These are the various fields information I would like to fetch, okay, from this lead object. So I would like to collect all the lead records information. Then how can we fetch the lead records information? Okay, through SOQL query. Now let's see. Here I'm giving the field names also to you. What fields information I want? From the next example onwards, I won't give the field name. Simply I will tell you. So now please collect the data from campaign object. That's it. You have to identify what columns are there inside this object. Now let's see. How can we fetch this information? So let's go to this developer console and then go to the query editor. There we can able to specify the columns information. Select ID of the lead, first name, comma last name, comma email, comma title, company, comma status, rating, industry, annual revenue, phone, fax, from lead. From the lead object, I would like to fetch all these columns information. Okay, I would like to fetch all these columns information from the lead object, like as ID column, first name column, last name, title, company, status, rating, industry, annual revenue, the phone, and the fax columns. All these columns informations I would like to fetch from the lead object. Then how can we fetch this information? How to execute this SOQL query? Now let's see practically in this case. Now click on execute button. Now we can see all the information. Totally, we're having 43 lead records are there. These are the details. This is the idea of the lead record. First name value, last name values, email ID, title, company name, status, rating, industry, annual revenue, phone number, and the fax number. All these columns information has been retrieved from this particular database here. All the columns information has been retrieved, whatever we have specified here. Okay, now let me place this as SOQL query. Next, third one more SOQL query. Next one. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the case records from the object. I'm not indicating the column names. Without giving the column names, how can we fetch? We have to go to that object and we have to verify what fields are there, and then we need to execute it. So now I would like to fetch the columns information. So what columns information would like to fetch? Select ID of the case, case status, case number, case priority, case type, case reason, case origin, case subject from case object. From the case object, I would like to collect the ID of the case, status of the case number, priority of the case, type of the case, reason of the case, origin of the case, subject information from the case object. I want to collect all this information of my case records. Then how can we execute this query? Now let me show you. Let me copy this query. Go to the developer console. In the query editor, you can paste it. Click on execute. Now my query has been executed successfully. It is collecting all the case records information. Totally 25 case records has been returned over here. So all the 25 case records has been returned. And we can see all the 25 case records also. These are the IDs of those case records. Status value, case number, priority, type, reason, origin, and the case subject. All this information we can able to see from the case object. Now, the next one. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the user records from the object. You know where exactly the user records are available, how to configure the users, how to manage the users, everything you know. Then how can we collect all those users information? All the users information is there inside that user object. So in that user object, what columns are there? I'm having this ID of the user, first name, last name, email, title, department, division, and the username is active, whether the user is in active status or not. I'm collecting all this information. And then from user. Now, I'm going to be collecting this user record details. ID of the user, first name of the user, last name of the user, email ID, title, department, division, username, which is in the form of email ID format. And then is active, whether this user is in active status or not. Everything we can able to cross check this. Now, so now let me execute this SOQL query. I'm placing the query. So this is the query which I have prepared right now to collect all the account records, sorry, all the user records from the user object. Click on this execute button. Now my query has been executed successfully. It is giving all the users information. So whatever the users are available inside this particular organization, all the users information we can able to fetch by using this user object. So by making an SOQL query to the user object, we can collect all the users information who are able to access your Salesforce instance. The next one. let's use next use case. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the email templates information. You know where all the email templates information is available inside an object called as email template object. Like all the lead records information is storing in lead object, account records information in account object, case records information in case object. Like the similar way, all the email templates information will be storing inside this email template object. So email template is a standard object in Salesforce where exactly all the email templates information will be getting visible. Now, let's see how can we collect all the email templates through program. Now let me prepare this. Select ID of the email template, name of the email template.
Firoj, one query I do have. The user, it's a global object, so do we have to specify dollar symbol, something like that?
Yes, we have to collect that. If you want to collect all the users information, then we have to use an SOQL query. If you want to collect the current user information, we can use user global object.
Okay.
Okay. Now, select the ID of that email template, name of the email template, description of the email template, subject of the email template, and the email content that is called as a body column. And then template type, what type of template it is from email template object. So I'm preparing an SOQL query. Through this SOQL query, I'm collecting all the email templates information available inside my email template object. So in this email template object, whatever the email templates are available, I would like to collect all the email templates. Now let's see how can we do this one. Now, let me copy this SOQL query. Let me execute it. Click on execute. So I'm having almost 26 email templates are available. These are the email template IDs. These are the names of those templates, description of the template, subject of the template, email template body also, nothing but the content. Email template type, what type of template it is. Is it a HTML template or a plain text template, or is it like a custom template, or what? We can able to identify that. Now, like that here, how can we fetch the data from custom objects also we'll see now. No. So what are the way we have collected the data from the standard objects? Like the similar fashion, we can fetch the data from custom object also. How can we fetch the data from the custom object? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, for example, assume that I'm having the hiring manager object. Then how can we fetch the data from the hiring manager object? Now, let me show you practically in this case. Now, let's take that small use case. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the hiring manager records from the object. So whatever the hiring manager records are available inside this object, I want to fetch all those hiring manager records. Then how can we collect all the hiring manager records? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so let me execute this query. Let me go to that developer console, go to the query editor, and then prepare this. Select ID of the hiring manager, name, and the location field. If you don't know that field's information, then simply go to that object, go to the view fields. Upon preparing the SOQL query, if you don't know some of the column names, then just go to that object fields. From there, you can copy this. I would like to fetch the contact number and then email ID. Use that API name or field name, but don't use the field labels. Email ID and the location from hiring manager object. This is the object name. From hiring manager. So whatever the records are available inside this hiring manager object, all the records I'm collecting from my object over here. Now click on execute button. So whatever the hiring manager records are available, all the records will be getting returned to you over here. It is fetching all the records. Totally 350 records are available. These are the IDs of those records, names, and the contact number details, email ID, location values. You can able to see all these 315 records. You can able to see over here. Now, next, I want to collect all my position records. How can we fetch? Write an SOQL query to fetch all the position details. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the position record details. Position record details. Now, so now here I would like to execute this SOQL query. How can we fetch? Now let's see practically. I'm preparing this query. Select ID of the position, name of the position, location underscore C, position status underscore C. If you know the field name, then you can type manually, or else you can copy from the objects fields list and then you can display. You can able to paste over here. And then open date and milestone date. HR email ID and the HR contact number from position object. My position object name is it's a custom object, so I'm indicating position underscore underscore C. It's my custom object. So in this case, how can we fetch this information? Let me execute this SOQL query. Let me place this query and then execute it. Click on execute button. So now whatever the columns information that are specified, all the columns information it has been collected. So this is the SOQL query, and then we can able to fetch the records from all these objects also. The possibilities of these are the 6 position records are available inside my object. We have collected all these position records. Okay, so this is how we can able to fetch the data from the object through developer console. With the help of the query editor window, we can write the SOQL query, we can execute it, and we can see the results also. So let me give you some assignments on this. So that you can practice that SOQL queries. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the contact records from the object. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the campaign records. Third one. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the opportunity records from the object. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the profiles information from the object. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the task records from the object. I'm not giving the column names of these objects. Okay, I'm leaving to you. So you have to do this one. You have to do some R&D. You have to find out the column names. You have to fetch. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the event records from the object. So write an SOQL query to fetch all the candidate records from the object. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the public groups and queues information from the object. Here you have to do some R&D on this particular object here. In order to collect all the public groups and the queues, there is an object is there that is called as group object. You have to do some R&D on this. What columns are there? You know how to check the column names inside a specific object. Suppose if you know an object, then in that object what columns are there? How can we verify those column names? You know already. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the details of the current organization. Write an SOQL query to fetch all the records from the customer object. These are the 10 SOQL queries. So do the practice on these 10 SOQL queries so that you can feel comfortable. And tomorrow I will show you how to execute that SOQL query through Apex programming. From tomorrow onwards, the concept will go a bit lengthy. Okay, we'll be having the session up to 9:15. Okay, because here the topics I would like to go a bit lengthy and I would like to go in deeper concepts also so that you can understand more. If you know this today's topic and today's examples, if you're done with the assignments, tomorrow's topic will be very, very simple for you. The same queries we're executing through Apex programming. That's it, nothing else. Then how to execute it, we'll see practically. So you should be ready with preparing this SOQL queries, and then you have to execute it. You have to check that results also over here, and then you have to find out the columns available inside these objects. Okay, now. So do the practice on these assignments today along with that examples, whatever we have discussed today. Tomorrow's topic will be very easy for you. From tomorrow onwards, we'll go with a bit lengthy topic till 9:15. Also, we'll be having the sessions so that we can able to cover some more features as well.
Sir, 9